Well, welcome back, gang, for episode 4 of the ADS podcast. We got Valerie, general manager of Adapt. We've got Dino, lead marketer. We have a special guest today, Mr. Roman Dog. My name is Chuck. I'm the owner of ADS, and today we're here to talk about what's going on in our world and our adventures of marketing for businesses in the United States. We encounter all sorts of fun and interesting things, and sometimes we just need to vent a little bit. Isn't that right, Dino?
Absolutely.
So what are we venting about this week, my friend?
Yeah, so one of the things I wanted to talk about is a new scam that I've seen going around in the past few weeks, and a few of our clients were affected by that. And it's related to Google Business Profile and reviews. Now, we talked how reviews are important and why they matter so much, but this new scam that's been going around is kind of making it harder for some companies to stay reputable online, unfortunately. So that's one of the things. Unfortunately, everybody gets affected by it, but the good news is it can be fixed super easy. So basically what happens is someone, I'm not sure they're from the US either. It's probably some other country, probably from Asia, because let's just be honest, that's where most scammers come from. That's just the thing. And what they do is basically someone would go on your Google Business Profile and they will leave 2 or 3 bad reviews. And they will say something along the lines, hey, we worked with this company and they ghosted us halfway through the project, or they did a shitty job, like communication was bad, or just something along those lines. And if you're a business owner and you see that, and you see like 2 or 3 bad reviews all of a sudden, and them saying like how your company sucks, you're probably going to go into your tracking system, or you'll try to find like who these people are, because maybe you don't know all the projects, maybe you have different project managers, and you might think someone messed up. But truth is, it's a scam. So what they do next, after they leave you those 2 or 3 reviews, you will get a text on your phone number, and it will always be from those @iCloud.com emails. And they'll basically say, hey, someone paid us money to leave you 30 bad reviews on your Google Business Profile. And they will say, we left you a few, but we don't want to leave you all the bad reviews because we did some research about your company and you guys look like a great company, decent company, good company, whatever it might be. And they'll say, but we really need the money. This guy paid us, but, if you pay us more, we can tell you who he is. We can give you his details, his information, and things like that. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know bad reviews can be removed from Google. Not bad reviews, but like reviews that are not from your clients. So that's the thing. My advice, if this happens to you, first of all, don't respond to these text messages, because if you do, they're going to kind of think they caught you, because if you just go in, they'll just try to get some money from you and try to extort you that way as well. So first piece of advice, don't answer. What we've seen happen, and that's my guess, is some of these reviews get automatically removed from Google, because Google can see your IP address, and if someone from India posts a bad review for you, it'll take Google 2 or 3 days. They're going to figure it out. They see a local company like maybe Idaho or whatever the area is, and they would just get it removed. So you don't have to do anything about that. If they don't get it removed, what you can do is, in the support section on Google Business Profile, you can report a bad review. So that's what you need to do next. Something else I've suggested our clients do while we wait for those reviews to get removed is just reply to them, reply to that review, and just say politely, hey, this is not our customer, this is a spam review. So something along those lines pretty much. So that's something that's pissing me off, because those people are messing with someone else's livelihood. Imagine someone looking to build a house and they're looking for home builders, and they find one guy that has 30 good reviews, and then the last 5 reviews are bad, and people are saying they didn't finish our house, and they might lose on a couple of potential projects that way. All of that for a few $100 that these people might get from someone to get those reviews removed. It's pissing me off, but it's kind of the world that we live in.
So basically, if I see a bad review on my Google account and it's not related to my business, it's not my clients, I need to go directly to the Google, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like first, just reply, then just report that review to Google. Like give them documentation. Like how that's not your customer. Just say things like, "Hey, we've checked our system. Like we know all of our clients, whatever it might be, and this is not our client. It's a spam review. Like we didn't work with this guy." But don't panic and don't send anybody any money to remove reviews, because if you do, chances are they might post 10 more reviews and ask for more money, if they saw you sent them some money as well. So just don't give
it. Dino, do you have any screenshots of these?
I can find them. Give me just a second.
Pull them up. So let me make sure I get this straight. So scammers will leave a few bad reviews on your Google listing, and then they'll contact you and say, somebody hired us to leave a bunch of bad reviews, but if you pay us more, we'll remove the reviews and tell you who did it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what they do.
So it's like a reputation ransom.
Yeah, and they always say we think it's one of your competitors, and then obviously people are curious. Like every company has some competitors that don't like them or they don't like the competitors, so they kind of think, hey, maybe this guy did it. I want to find this out. Like, what's $100? Let's just pay that. So let me share my screen.
That's crazy that we've never seen this before now, but it's probably going to be happening all the time. And this is why I always give Google a little bit of like credit when it's a total pain in the ass to deal with them, because they're constantly having to deal with people like this trying to just screw over the system and the people using it.
Yeah. Good thing about Google, that's something I liked. In the previous podcast, we kind of talked about things that we don't like with Google, but one thing I like about them is if someone tries to post a bad review and they're not from your area, most of the time Google will just block them because they see the IP, they see it's not from that location, and they will just not post it. So that's one thing I like about them. So this is how these reviews would look like. Overcharge me for the work done. This company will blur this info out, but didn't meet expectations. Didn't finish job on time. Unreliable. And this client, he has all 5-star reviews, and then a couple of latest ones were just 1 star and people saying shit. And as you can see, like this is we have, I believe, on the second screenshot. Yeah, like this is what we suggest people do, to just say this review is not from one of our clients, it's a fake review. And this is the message that they would usually get. Someone gave me order of 30 negative reviews for your business. He asked me to spend your business from Google Map. I think he's your competitors. And then they would say shit like, competitor, all I know is he wants to grow your business. He's willing to pay me a good amount for bad reviews. He said when you see sir, it screams Indian, honestly. That's what I said. Like these people are obviously not from the US. So, but yeah, like sir, basically I don't do bad reviews, but I have to pay my graduation fee. That's why I took this order for. I can take down the bad reviews and let you know the person details who's doing this, business address, his contact, whole chats. They might handle it legally. I just respected your business because that's why I contacted you. So it's these sort of things, and this is the message that we sent to the client. Basically, after like 2 days, we got all of these reviews removed. So yeah, nothing to worry about. You just have to work with Google to get this removed. Other cases we had, it happened kind of in the same time frame. Like takes 2 to 3 days to get these removed, but just a note: Google might not always remove these bad reviews like the first time you contact them. Depends on who's reading the message, who the support person is, but just keep trying until you get them fully removed.
Yeah, and it makes sense not to engage with them, because as soon as they know that you're there, they'll be a lot more relentless. But if you just don't respond, they might just assume like, oh, this is just a waste of time. This person probably didn't even notice.
Yeah, they're probably like doing this to hundreds of businesses on a daily basis, and like whoever they catch, they caught. They can make like, if even one person a day kind of falls into trap of this scam, like it'll be worthwhile to do it for them. So,
are they claiming that they're from Google or no?
No, but that was I've seen similar scams. Like someone would contact them and they would say, hey, we're from Google. Your profile on Google Maps isn't optimized properly. We can do this for you. And they would ask for money. Now, first thing is, like, Google will never contact you first. They will contact you if your Google Business profile gets suspended or something, like they will send you an email. But like Google will never call you, they'll never send you email to offer some services or like something like that. That's another scam we've seen that I've seen is happening to a bunch of our clients as well. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Like they just call you and tell you, hey,
call you, yeah.
Yeah,
I get calls all the time. Like every day I'll get a voicemail that says your, Google business profile isn't verified. Call now. I had a buddy that we were like, framing a roof or something, and he comes back from a break and he's like, "Oh, these people just called me and said my Google thing wasn't verified." And I was like, "Oh, that's a scam." He's like, "Really?" Because I just gave him my debit card number, and he just paid him like $500, and he had to cancel his debit card and all this stuff. So, I mean, that's a good rule of thumb. Google, at least at this point in time, will never ever call you to call you about like a free Google business profile. Like the only way they'll call you is if you're running Google ads or something and you're paying them. They'll try to call you and get you to spend more money, but they never call you to help you for free.
No. Yeah, one other thing to keep in mind for anybody watching this is like never give like owners access to anyone to your Google business profile, because if you do, they might remove your access and then they might ask money to add you again, so they can kind of take over of your listing. You have managers access, that's what you can give them. That way they can do anything that they need, but they can't really add or remove users. And we, with all the clients that we work with, we never ask for owners access of anything, like their domain, their Google business profile, whatever, because we don't need it. If anybody's asking you for owner's access, you can kind of figure out what their goal is.
Yeah, not good.
I have a quick story that's a little related as far as the bad reviews portions go. I'll lead into the story with a quick tip, is that you can ask ChatGPT, like, what are the top 10 contractors and then insert your city. And then if you don't show up in that list, you can ask it why your company didn't show up in that list. And it'll usually give you some useful feedback. So in our case, for our service business, I asked it, why don't we show up in that list? And it pulled it up and it said, well, your company's presence is pretty good, except that on this website, we found some negative reviews that kept you from reaching the top 10. I was like, well, that's weird, because we don't have a single negative review on our Google. We don't have a single negative review on our Trustpilot. Like, where is it finding these? And so it gives you all the sources when it's giving you info. And so I clicked through, and it was a directory website, just like a Yelp or any other. And it had our company name in there, and it had 3 negative reviews. So we had like a 1-star rating, and the reviews were obviously fake. Like, they just super generic reviews. I don't even know if it got like what we do correct. And then below the reviews, it was sign up now so that you can manage your reputation, and like it kind of alluded to like getting those bad reviews taken down. So same mechanism, just not on Google, but this is stuff that shows up. Like, if those sites are ranking and if ChatGPT is finding them, it's going to affect your visibility. I can't find that site, so I think it might have been taken down as a whole, but I bet that that's another thing that's going to be pretty common.
Yeah, it's starting to look like, I mean, in that case, it's kind of like an online war zone where, like, because of AI is so good at crawling around the internet and like taking in all the information, even the stuff that people might never see, like that review website that you're talking about. And it takes all that into account. And so it's never been more important to like have a squeaky clean online presence. Like, even if your online presence is small, as long as it's consistent and it's positive, like that makes a big deal. And it's just creating the opportunity to be able to attack like your competitors, for example, and go in and just, I don't want to put ideas in people's heads, but like go out, create fake profiles, put misinformation out there, go put bad reviews around. Like, that's going to be happening more and more. And it's going to be a real challenge for companies like Google to be able to discount the fake stuff versus the real stuff, it's probably going to end up going towards the direction of like Google Guaranteed or local service ads, where everything's like verified through them. And I've seen where on LSA you'll have a different number of reviews than you have on your Google business profile, and maybe those are the ones that Google can like really verify. Yelp's done the same thing, where you can only get Yelp reviews from clients that came through Yelp, but it's gonna like, these companies will probably be forced to use less of the information that's freely available because it'll be so easily manipulated. And that's a great tactic that you mentioned there, Roman, that like regular business owners can do, is go into ChatGPT or whatever AI you use, type in the name of your business, say, hey, help me like audit my online presence. Like, what's going on out there? And give me a list of, things that I could do or things that might be hurting me or helping me. And to give you the opportunity to go try to fix some of this yourself. That's like our main service at Adapt, is building out and like cleaning up an online presence so that, Google and these AI robots will favor your company because all the information is positive.
That's something that basically me as a general contractor can do on, let's say, daily basis or weekly basis. How often do we do that as a company?
Like for ourselves?
For clients, ourselves, yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened yesterday? We uncovered something yesterday. What was it? I forgot already.
Yeah, for Google Ads, the locations was messed up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, we had we discovered one of our clients, their ads were getting seen all over the place, all over the world, and they were getting a lot of clicks from India and places like that. And it turns out that it was some kind of like API issue with Google. Google sent the right information for one campaign, but not the other. And luckily we caught it before too much money was spent. But that's like the world we live in. Even Google, even if you're doing something you always do, sometimes something messes up. Sometimes Google changes something on you. And you just have to be like hyper vigilant about double checking everything and monitoring everything before something gets out of hand. Like, it would have been possible for that company to spend thousands of dollars on clicks from India. But luckily we caught it before, a couple hundred was spent. So yeah, that's another one of those examples.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's how a lot of companies operate. Like, they won't be checking things kind of regularly, but they would do it like every 3 to 6 months, and then by the time they check something, like, I don't want to say it would be too late, but the damage would have been done. Same way people don't check their website forms. Like, your website form might be working today, but in 3 weeks something might, like the update on your website, like the automatic update of a plugin or something, can mess it up, and you don't caught it, like, it might go a year and you're wondering why you're not getting any leads from the website, but your form is broken. Like, we've seen that happen as well. So things just break.
Yep. Yeah, we do market assessments for people all the time. Like, I've been doing them for years, and I don't know how many times I've seen, like, talked to someone. They're like, oh, our website used to work great a year or two ago. Like, we just haven't got any leads. We want some marketing, whatever. And then I go in and I just discover like a ton of leads in there, but they were never getting emailed to them or something. And so they just missed out on dozens or hundreds of leads, thinking, oh, the website doesn't work anymore. And it was just like one thing broke and nobody noticed it. That's one of the main reasons we tell our clients, like, hey, at minimum, stay on like the lowest level of service just so we can watch this stuff for you, so that something stupid doesn't break and end up costing you a ton of money, because it happens all the time. Like, people always think like, oh, well, like, what exactly do you have to do maintenance for on a website? And it's kind of like a truck or any other tool. Like, stuff will break eventually, and if nobody's there to notice it, then you'll be screwed.
Yeah, the perception that you build the website, you get online, and that's it. The job is done. It's not correct. Like you mentioned, Chuck,
Mm-hmm.
it's wild west right now going on online, and every day there's something super new.
Yeah, I keep coming back to like I just love the bodybuilding example or like the bodybuilding analogy to online marketing because we have people all the time they come in and they're like, okay, like it's been a month, like when can I expect to get a bunch of leads? And I always just think it's like, okay, there's a bodybuilding competition and there's a bunch of guys on stage and you want to be on stage and you want to win. And so you start going to the gym and a month in you're like, all right, when am I going to win? And it's like, it's not how this stuff works. Like you're just getting on stage, but these guys are working out just as hard as you are. Like you're trying to catch up to them. And if you, let's just say you are winning, you've been killing it a long time, you've been doing SEO or ads or whatever you're doing for online marketing, and then you kind of take your foot off the gas, and that's like you stop going to the gym, you stop working out. Like you might win again for a little while, but eventually you're going to get weaker and your competition's going to keep getting stronger and they're going to pass you. And this idea of that you can just like build a website or do something online and like, boom, you're done. Don't have to do anything else. You're just going to win from now on. Like that's just not how it works. It's never how it's worked. And it's super challenging to explain that to people who don't live in this world of the marketing and stuff. They don't understand that they should view it as a competition and view their business as, like your body in a bodybuilding or your baseball team. Like if you practice and get better, you're going to win more often. If you don't practice and get better, like your opponents are going to overtake you.
So
I mean, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would just pay someone some money to get the website, and they would get all the leads they need. But then, like 100 people,
if everybody
do that,
did it wouldn't work anymore.
Yeah, that's right. So that's why you need to do some other things to make it work as well. So yeah, it's what we basically have to explain to almost every single person that comes in. That's like the only client we don't have to explain that to is someone that's been watching your videos for the last like 3 years, and they kind of have some idea on what they need to do, how it all works, and then it's a lot easier to explain. But someone new coming in, like that's the conversation we always need to have with them.
So marketing is not a hard science, and you cannot guarantee that I will get 30 leads in.
I mean, same way as Chuck
Sometimes
said for
you
the
can.
gym. Yeah, like can someone guarantee you're gonna build muscle if you go to the gym? Well, if you follow all the principles, you definitely will. But no one can guarantee and say you're gonna get X amount of muscle in 6 months, even if you do all the things right. It might take 3 more months. It might take 1 more year. Maybe your genetics is not right for building muscle, so you won't get that great results. But you'll improve. It's just a question on how much will you improve. So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
exactly like that.
Yeah, for sure.
What's going on in your world, Roman Dog?
Well, I do want to add to that conversation a little bit and just touch on the value of our time, because like I hear this thing come up, especially around like website maintenance all the time, is that there's definitely a group of people who are like, oh yeah, anyone can maintain a website. All you have to do is this, this, and this. And like, oh, don't bother wasting the $50 or the $100 a month on that. And it's like, well, yeah, that's technically true. Anyone can figure out anything. Anyone can do anything. It's the same thing as remodeling your bathroom. Technically, you can do it yourself, but you probably value your time enough to not have to go spend like 4 weeks to learn all the skills and go acquire all the tools necessary. And so, I mean, when it comes to stuff like website maintenance, I find it interesting. That seems to be a category where people love to try and save $50 a month when their time as a contractor or as any type of business owner is probably so much more valuable doing anything else. So I urge everybody to remember the value of their time. And if they don't know the value of their time, calculate it.
Yeah.
Number of hours that you work in a week and the amount of money that you generate from that. And like set an hourly rate for yourself And if anything that you're doing in your business costs less than that hourly rate to just hire someone else to do it, you outsource it. And then you forget about it. And you focus all of your mental energy towards delivering amazing services to your customers.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing applies to, like our personal lives. Like people always say, like I've heard like, oh, once you hit like 10,000 a month, you should never clean your house again. You should hire a maid. You should hire a cook, like all this stuff. And I don't know. I've always just struggled with that. And I find myself cleaning my house.
Maybe you enjoy it.
That's how it's okay. That's how a lot of people are. Like I change Becca's oil in her car, and it's not the best use of my time. But I do kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then at least I know that it was done properly. And I think that's the hang up that a lot of people have with like something like website maintenance.
Definitely.
It's like if the average person goes to a mechanic to get their oil changed and the mechanic's like, oh, your transmission's going to break someday and you should probably replace it now. Like you have zero way to verify if that's true or what kind of oil they put in or like whatever. And it's the same with a website. It's like you don't understand this thing. You don't even know how to check anything. You don't know if what this person is true or not. The only people that really buy into it are the ones that had a website and it broke and it screwed them over and cost them a ton of money for a long time.
That's a great segue into something I've been thinking a lot about lately, which is just transparency behind services. Like what is actually being done on the back end and how can you demonstrate enough proof of what you're doing so that the customer knows that without a doubt you're not screwing with them. You mentioned mechanic. I just took my car or my Suburban into the shop last week to have some work done, and I was actually blown away. So I dropped it off. They did their full, review of the vehicle, and then they texted me a digital report of every item that needs to be fixed with photos and videos. So, they said something, like the tie rod ends need to be replaced. And if someone just said that to you and you can't physically get up and look under there, like you don't really know what you're looking at. But they sent me a video where the mechanic grabbed each part of the whatever that part is with the tie rod in there and showed them like visibly moving against each other, and they're not supposed to move at all. So he was like clunk, 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 see, and that's your tie rod end. And then he zoomed out so you could see the bigger picture of where that was. And I thought that was really cool. Just a cool example of like going above and beyond to communicate and teach the customer so that they understand the value of what's being performed. I think that could be expanded to like all sorts of service businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Remodeling comes to mind. Like, we're doing a remodel or an addition. We break into the walls. Half the time you find something weird that needs to be fixed. It's a great idea to like pull out your phone, take a video, be like, you see this black stuff back here. This is mold. Here's the test kit. It's black mold. You should look at getting this fixed, blah, blah, blah. And then you could turn around and use that as content for like your YouTube channel, like running into black mold in a wall. Now that becomes a video. And if like people love watching real life stuff, and if your videos can help people identify when things are broken, like that tie rod thing, like, hey, look, this shouldn't happen. This shouldn't shake in there. That means that it's going to break soon. That would be a great YouTube video so that when the next person, their mechanic tells them you need to get your tie rods fixed, they're like, well, how would I know? They go to YouTube and then they do crawl under their car and they shake it and they're like, oh, I'll be damned. The guy was telling the truth. It's a super solid idea. We actually started doing that with maintenance. We do a video every month and we do the maintenance and we just kind of try to show them like, hey, we're actually in there. We're actually doing this. Like,
Oh, cool.
This is what we found. And about half of our clients actually watch them.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's the same thing. Like clients always ask me when they want to post something on social media or YouTube, like what should I post? And I always tell them like, you're at this neighborhood, you're fixing fans, just pull up your phone, like take photos, say, hey, I'm in this neighborhood fixing John's fence, like this was the issue or whatever it might be. Same way with the video. Like that's the best way to get content put, whether that's for social media or YouTube. So definitely the way to go.
Yeah, and it's not only our maintenance clients that we send videos. We also do consultations and business evaluations, and send it all in the recorded video, so that you can always come back and look at it again and see where you're at and what's your next step, and and are you charging the right amount of money and all of that.
Yeah, it's always best to over communicate with clients than under communicate, because even if you like send them an email or a text every single day and they don't respond half the time, like they will definitely appreciate that. But if you don't reach out to them in like 3 months and they're wondering what's going on, like if I was working with someone and I didn't hear from them in a long time, I would just cancel the service, because I'm not hearing from you. I don't know what's going on. So why should I pay you? But when I know what's going on, that's when I know I should keep on paying you.
Yeah, I think as any like service company, you never want your customer to wonder what's going on. Like you never want to let it get to that point. Always want to be ahead of that, making sure they're on top of things because you're keeping them on top of things. It also gives you more control over the situation. Like if you are constantly giving updates, then you're controlling what they're focused on rather than just letting it, spiral out, because people like to imagine all sorts of things.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they would always assume the worst. If you don't hear from someone in like 2 weeks, you'll assume the worst. But that's just human nature and how we are.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the name change stuff. We had a client that we've been working with for a couple of years come out of the blue and say he wants to change his name. So get us up to speed on that situation, Dino.
Yeah, so it's actually one of the clients that we talked about in the previous podcast. We won't mention his name, but he's a remodeler from Chicago. He signed up with us, I believe it was close to 3 years ago. And since that time, he got over 500 leads in the last 3 years. And his business has been going really well. While the business is going well, business owners tend to have a lot of ideas on what they can do, because when things are going right and things are going good, you have clients, you have money, you kind of have the freedom to do a lot of other things. And he wanted to change his company name, because right now his company name is his first and last name, initials, and then just remodeling. And he wanted to switch to something else. And he wasn't sure how to go about that whole process. That's why he called us and he wanted to figure that out. In his mind, it was kind of super easy thing to do. You just change the name on the website, you change name on your Google Maps, and you're good to go. Like nothing else needs to happen. When I explained to him what is included, then he wanted to think more about that as well. So it's not as straightforward as most people think it is.
So give us the rundown. Like what does it take to change a name, and what are the pros and cons?
Yeah, so the con, let's first talk about that. The biggest one is, first of all, you need to change your domain. And let's say you have a domain that's 10 years old, like Google trusts it, you have a bunch of backlinks to that domain. And
What's
you're
a
getting
domain?
leads. It's basically just your name on the internet, like what people would type in the browser to find you. It's www.johnsremodeling.com, basically. So if you change the company name, you can't, like if you change name to like Marcus's Remodeling instead of John's or whatever, like you just have to get a new domain. Now, that new domain doesn't have any authority on Google. Like Google doesn't recognize that company. It's like basically starting from scratch. And all the other domains, reputable domains that are pointing to your old domain, like they would not point to your new one. And most of the time it's impossible to change that, or really difficult. So that's the first one. Second thing, you need to have your business name changed legally in the documents, because when you go on Google Maps to change your business name, most likely Google is going to ask you for verification. That might include, they're going to ask you for you to send them like your business registration document or license document or something. or you'll need to do a video to show that. So that also needs to happen. A bunch of other things are included, like every mention of your company online, like that needs to be changed as well, because if you have John's Remodeling and phone number and description, and then you get new domain, you change everything, and then the phone number is the same. Now Google thinks like these two companies have identical phone numbers, so let's just not show either of them. So like a lot of things need to match, and it's a lot of work. It's usually like between 1 to 3 months to get everything fully sorted out to change that. And then it's also building authority on that new domain that takes time. So in a way, nobody can guarantee you're going to continue getting results, like as good of results as you're getting right now if you just, in a way, build a new company and start from scratch. So that's the biggest con that we can see.
It's basically a Pandora box, right? I wanted to ask you to touch a little bit in general how to choose the name of the business. Because what we see a lot, there are a lot of similar names of the companies. And yeah, just tell us, Dino, what does that mean for the business? How to choose the business name the best?
Yeah, that's what happens to us all the time. Like someone reaches out, we do a little bit of digging online about him, and we find out there's like 500 companies with the same name. And when we tell them that, they're like, man, no way. This is like, how'd you find that? Like the guy we're talking to recently, like basically I spent maybe like 10 minutes looking into his stuff, and I discovered he has a second website he didn't even know about. I get on a call with him, and the first thing I asked him, hey, dude, like you have multiple websites. Like, then I explained why Google doesn't like that. He didn't know he had 2 websites. Like someone built a website for him, and he didn't even know. So people just don't know. That's kind of the moral of the story in a way.
Yeah,
but
a good analogy. Then we'll get back to your question, Val. Mm-hmm. A good analogy for like what needs to happen online when you change your business name is kind of like to relate it to the real world. Like imagine you're a restaurant, and you have your location, and people know where that location is, and there's 100 road signs in your city that point to John's restaurant. Mm-hmm. And there's 30 other people or business owners in the city that commonly send people to your restaurant. Oh, you're looking for John's restaurant? It's over here. You're looking for John's restaurant? It's over here. And now all of a sudden you change it to Dino's restaurant. All of those road signs are pointing to John's restaurant. All those people out there are still telling people to go to John's restaurant, but that's not the right name anymore, so mm-hmm. people can't find you. So you have to go out in the world. You have to go change all those signs, make sure that they're accurate. You probably don't even know that half of them exist, so you have to look for them. And then you have to go to all those 30 people, hopefully you know who they are, and tell them that you changed the name, or maybe you changed the location or whatever. It's the same if when you change anything, is you have to go out and make sure that everybody, all the information gets updated so people can still find you. That's exactly how it works on Google. If all that information gets changed or your name changes, Google looks at you as a brand new company, and all those signs and other people pointing other people to you, they just don't matter anymore. They're not pointing to you anymore. You are something else now. So no one's pointing to you, and therefore nobody finds you.
Yeah, that's a beautiful analogy. Love that.
Yeah. Getting back to choosing the name, it's not only that you could choose the same names. It could be something similar with a lot of companies in your area. What I've seen is, I think the most I've seen is 8 different companies with similar names in one area. And you like open the Google Maps as a client, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, anyone watching this, just go to Google and type down John's Remodeling. You'll see like 500 different companies with the same name.
Yeah.
Like whatever the most common name is, and just add remodeling, plumbing, or electrical to it, you'll see a bunch of companies having that name.
With your own business name, check it out.
Yeah. Some things to consider. One is obviously like you don't want to have the same name as someone else in your area. If you do, then you need to be a lot stronger than them, so that if somebody is looking for what you do or types in John's Remodeling, that you're the one that shows up. You wouldn't want to name your sandwich store Subways because no one's ever going to find you. They're going to find Subway. There's a million of those. Another thing to consider is like, let's say right now you do pressure washing. So you're like, I'm going to call myself John's Pressure Washing. And that's really great for a couple years. But then you're like, I want to do roofing too. Well, when people see John's Pressure Washing, they don't think, oh, they probably do roofing. And if you did know that, you'd probably be like, do I want a pressure washer guy doing my roof? And so you always want to think ahead. What are all the things we're going to do? Like, how can I name my company in a way that it doesn't hold me back someday? Which is the case with our client you were talking about, is they feel like their company being named after them is either holding them back or going to hold them back from reaching their goals. Maybe the goal is that they sell the company, or maybe it's that they just aren't the face of the company. And so John's Remodeling, if you sell that to a guy named Roy owns John's Remodeling, that sounds weird. So if you think there's even a chance of selling the company someday, you probably don't want to name it your name. Or if you do, like, you just know that someday you're going to change that name. And changing a name isn't impossible. Companies do it all the time. It's just, it takes a lot of work. And let's say that your reputation and your name gets you, 5 new customers every month. If you just change your name all of a sudden and you don't do anything else, like, you're probably not going to get those customers anymore. But if you do the right things, in 3 to 6 months, you can probably recapture that reputation under the new name and regain the ground that you lost. Those are two considerations I can think of. What about you guys? What can you think of?
I actually worked for a big concern, for a big company in my previous workplace that changed name for one of their product lines. And it really took us at least 8 months to get out of all the confusion with the clients, with all the online presence, with everybody, to actually really transit. And I'm not even mentioning the money that it took. There was constantly in teams and teams working on it to explain, to deliver, to make it clear that this is that company was before, and this is the same company, and it was a nightmare in the beginning, to be honest.
Y'all know I love analogies, but this is a weird one. But you can imagine, like, the name of your company is like one of your legs, and like you're running and you're like, I'm going to change my leg, but it takes you a while to grow a leg. So you cut that leg off and now you're hobbling down the road, and it takes a while to like grow that leg back. It's kind of like that. Like, the best time to change your name, like if you're a contractor especially, or like a small business, the best time to change your name is probably sooner rather than later. We talk to a lot of business owners who are just starting marketing, or maybe they've been doing it a while, but like it's not working that well. So they have less to lose from changing their name than somebody who like figured out marketing and it's been working for them for a few years. They've built up momentum, like their leg has gotten really strong, and now they're like, I want to start over with a new leg. And it's going to take them a while to regain the ground that they've lost. So that's why, like, when you're picking a business name, it's good to try to think ahead. It's easy for me because I've just been in and around that situation so many times where someone's changing their name for whatever reason, that I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. But most business owners probably haven't spent too much time thinking about it. And so those are just some considerations for sure.
Yeah, that's my comment there. Talk to somebody. If you never did it and it's your first time, it's your dear business, talk to somebody who knows what to do, or they did it, or just don't do it out of the blue on your own without any research.
Hey, Chuck, you had mentioned naming your business broad enough that it will cover any possible future services you want to offer. Can you give some examples of those types of names?
Yeah, so the last company I formed, the idea was that we would start off doing handyman services, but I wanted to keep it broad so we could do basically any kind of like commercial or residential property services. So I called it Evergreen Property Services. And that way, like, we could literally do remodeling, roofing, handyman, pressure washing, like all of that falls under that category. And if somebody was looking for a pressure washer and saw us and it was clear that we did that, they'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. So I named it that way, just knowing that I wanted to be able to do anything. Now, the opposite could have been true too. It's like, if you really want to dominate roofing's very competitive. Like, it makes sense to name your company like Evergreen Roofing, because that's going to give you like a focus that will help make it easier to have a brand that's based around one thing. So there's two sides to that coin.
How often do you see people wanting to change their services along the way? Like you said, you're pressure washers and suddenly you're like, okay, I want to do siding,
I don't know, pretty often.
Yeah.
A lot of it depends on what kind of service you're doing.
Yeah, and a lot of clients that I talk to, like almost on a monthly basis, there is someone that wants to go into a different service, like just the one we're doing right now for this month is they basically do, like, they lay bricks, like they do concrete bricks, they do patios, they do those sorts of things. They also want to do indoor tile installation, for example. So they're switching to that. A lot of handymans want to switch to remodeling and, some kind of different service. So it's pretty often, if someone sees an opportunity in that, if they do one job and they really like it, like they want to get more of that as well. So it's pretty common.
Yeah, I would say my guess is, along the way, at least 20% of our clients are changing some services.
Yep, happens all the time. We got the pressure washer guys who wanted to add painting. It's
yeah,
like
Christmas light installation.
Right, yeah.
That's like having a baseball team and then being like, okay, we want to play football too.
Yeah.
It's like a completely different game.
Make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, good thing to talk about in the next podcast is those specialized businesses versus the businesses that do broad things on Google, and what the difference is and how the rankings work and how Google sees those businesses. So be prepared for that.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have any closing statements? Anything you want to share with the world?
Not much,
Nada. We left it all on the table.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Yes.
Nothing.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me. If you're still listening, I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and subscribe, tune into the next one, leave us a comment, let us know what you thought.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, bye.
See you in the next one.
Bye, guys.